So hey everybody, this video is just me giving you guys a few tips for your first year of law school, because I have gotten so many messages from you guys, and I remember being in your position and being so freaking nervous. And if I had known these things that I'm about to tell you, I think my life would have been much different. But before I go into these tips, I do want to tell you guys about an opportunity that I'm doing with my business. For those of you guys who don't know, I do have a business called Gumption Life Coaching and Consulting. I will go really in depth about this at the end of the video, so be sure to check that out. But I do have a promotional opportunity for you guys, and you guys will find out all the details at the end of the video. But just to give you guys a little bit of insight, what I'm doing is actually a group coaching option for all of the first year law students or people who are interested in law school. So it's an hour and 30-minute group coaching session where you can ask me unlimited questions, whatever any question, personal questions, what have you, about finances, about just the law school process, about being successful academically, about balancing relationships while being in law school, anything. I will be answering literally everything for you guys. And it will be $15, which is a very, very, very reduced student discount that I have to do for you guys because I appreciate your love and support if you're watching this. But it's a $15 fee, an hour and 30 minutes. And following that, I will be creating a group chat for all of the participants who participated in the group session. And we will foster our own community of bomb and brilliant scholars who are just looking to be successful in school, looking to offer tips. In that group chat, I will give you guys information, different resources that I come across, whether it's scholarship opportunities, whether it's just tips for school, or just some motivational things to get you through your week or get you through finals or just get you through school. So I'm so excited about it, but stay tuned for the end of the video so you guys can find out all the details and actually enter so you guys can do this, because I think it's going to be so fun. It's going to be an opportunity for me to really connect with you guys and for you guys to really be, for me to be really readily accessible to you guys, because it's hard for me to respond to everybody's comments and just give you guys really detailed answers, because I know you guys always have follow-up questions, and like I don't really have the time to scan through every single video and go through every single comment. So us having a group chat will just really have me be readily accessible to you guys. And if you guys have questions that I don't have the answers to, as always, I will do my due diligence to get you guys those answers. And it's just pretty much us fostering a community where I can really help you guys and give you guys insight and knowledge that you guys are looking for that I can't really give to you guys here on YouTube. So it'll be very intimate, an intimate group of us, and I'm so excited. $15. If you guys are interested, you can send me a direct message on Instagram with your email, or you can just send me an email right here to my business email. You guys can see it right here, and stay tuned so you guys can get these details at the end of the video. It'll be a little bit more detailed at the end. But into the tips we go. So I really want to consider these like the 1L secrets to success, because I feel like people talk about everything except for the things that I think are most important to being successful in law school, in life. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is your mindset. Your mindset is everything in law school. People will give you tips on, here's how you study, here's how you prepare for your classes, here's how you read for your classes. And I think that people really miss the vital information that people need, and it's your mindset. If you're going into law school with a mindset of self-doubt, if you're going into law school with the thought that this is going to be hard for you, if you're going into law school with the thought that this is something that maybe you can't do, like, you're not going to be successful. If you're going into law school really trying to compare yourself to your classmates and wondering what they did before they got here, did they work in the legal field, did they start as a paralegal, did they major in pre-law, you will not be able to win as a law student. So it's really about going in there with a firm, positive mindset that cannot have outside forces affect it. Because when I tell you guys, and I've told you guys this so many times, but I really cannot stress it enough, law school is a mind game more than anything, more than strategy, more than anything. It's a mind game. And the moment when you can really just perfect the mind game, everything else will come. And really perfecting the mind game really comes from within, having confidence in yourself. So you have to be confident enough to know that if you got admitted to that school, it's because you're more than capable of accomplishing your goals. It's because you're more than capable of becoming an attorney. Like, you are in that position for a reason. Go in there and know that you're there for a reason. You were hand chosen to be a student at that school. Whether you came from the wait list, whether or not you didn't get your admission until a week before school started, I don't care. You were hand chosen to be a student at that school. Mindset is everything. Do not listen to what your classmates are saying when they try to psych you out and tell you, oh yeah, I did case breaking in undergrad. Sure you did. Do not listen to your classmates who are telling you, oh yeah, my dad is an attorney. Good for him. I will be one as well. Don't listen to the negativity that's going to inevitably be present. Stay positive, stay focused. Gossip is beneath you. We don't have time for it. We're there to fulfill our dreams. We're there to achieve our goals. And when your mindset is there, everything else will follow. But that is the foundation that you built the house on. You cannot build a house from the roof down. It will collapse right before your very eyes. You have to build a house with a solid foundation. And I can't tell you guys about how to be confident during cold calls, how to prepare for the week, how to write out your schedule, how to be really sticking to your schedule, how to pick a study group until you have that strong, solid foundation of knowing that you're supposed to be there, knowing that nothing will keep you from accomplishing your goals, and knowing that you can ultimately do it. So that's the most important thing, and I really just want to stress that to you guys. Next tip is just about organization. And organization is really like one of the pillars of law school, because you're going to find that life is a lot different than it was when you were in undergrad. Life is a lot different than it was when you were working in a field, and it's just different in regards to organization. So not only do you have to focus on balancing being a student, but life comes at you. Like, you're still a human, and there's still things that you have to address. There's still family things that come up. You still want to be able to live a life that's fulfilling, and so organization is key. It's essential. I recommend everybody getting a planner, getting an agenda. If you're not someone who likes to write things out, there are so many online options. You guys can use the Google Calendar. There are so many different note features that are out there that you can just write out your schedule. But I would just say get organized, and don't just get organized in the sense of what homework do I have to do, what readings do I have to do. Get organized with your life. Make sure that your space is clean, your house is clean. Choose a day in the week where you take an hour to clean up your house, clean up your space, because that will declutter your mind. And that makes a big difference, because your mind can be so consumed with readings and so consumed with life and school that it's just hard for you to really be a human. And you have to remember, you're not a robot. So the best thing is really just getting organized. Get your life organized. What meals are you going to eat for the week? Really maybe spend Sunday meal prepping so that you can have food to eat throughout the week, and you can have lunch so you're not wasting money. Like, organization is key in law school, because law school can be hell if you let it, or it can just be you getting your law degree. It doesn't have to be hard. It's just about what you decide. So people will put it in your brain that, oh, it's so challenging. And yes, don't get me wrong, this is not a walk in the park. But it's not like a walk through hell. It doesn't have to be. If you can be organized and you can stick to your plans for the week, your plans for the month, and really just focus on what's going on for the day, really just getting things done for that day, you will feel a lot less overwhelmed. So now we're going to get into the academic portion of law school, which is, you know, the important part for sure. So I just want to kind of give you guys some insight into how you can really be a successful student. So first things first, don't compare yourself to anybody. Don't do it. It is self-sabotage. Everyone's brain works differently. It might take you 2 hours to read what it takes somebody else 30 minutes to read. That person might have took 30 minutes, but did they grasp the concept? Do they even know what the holding is? Do they know what the rule is? You guys might not know what those terms are yet if you're a first-year law student, but you will. And I'm so happy for the time when you guys really start to learn these things. And if you're somebody who decides to do the coaching, I cannot wait for you guys to just tell me all the new things that you guys have learned in our group chat. I'm so looking forward to it. But yeah, you guys, don't compare yourself to anybody. Really focus on yourself. The next thing is, do your reading. It might sound like, duh, why wouldn't I? But girl, boy, let me tell you, I have sat in classes where the reading was not done. It was not done. The professor asked someone to answer a question during cold calling, which I will go into after this. And the person did not know the answer. It wasn't that the person didn't know the answer, like, wow, professor, that's a really good question, I'm not quite sure. It was like, professor, I did not read today. I'm so sorry. And that is, unfortunately, when you're in a professional school, this is not undergrad, this is not high school, this is law school. These professors should be really taken seriously. They have put in so much to really just teach you this vital information and to really profess to you. They do this for a living. So for you to come into their class and make it blatantly known that you just did not read, it can really be seen as a slap in the face to them. Don't get me wrong, life happens. But that's what I say about organization. Plan ahead so that your stuff and your work is always done. But life happens, and there have been times where I haven't done the reading. Thankfully, I didn't get caught, but life happens. But what you have to do is play the game. Don't be that person who's like, professor, I did not read. I don't give a F about your time. Don't be that person, but just say, professor, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the answer is, or something that's a lot more respectful. But just outwardly outing yourself that you didn't read is not a good look, and not reading is not a good look. I would highly recommend that you always do your reading. Like, why did you go to law school? Like, did you go to law school to try to skate through school? This is not the place for you. Unfortunately, I hate to be blunt, but it's not the place for you if that was your intent. So yes, life happens, but definitely don't let life happen too much where you don't get to do your reading, because staying on top of your reading is how you can really ensure success when exam time happens. So stay on top of your reading. Now for cold calling. Cold calling is scary for people who have never been cold called before. And honestly, it can be scary for people who have been cold called before, because people hate the thought of being embarrassed because they don't know the answer. Please understand that everybody will have a time where they don't know the answer. Not knowing the answer doesn't mean that you're less than, or that you're stupid, or that you're not supposed to be there. Sometimes the professor asks questions that are just completely confusing. And it's just like, huh? With all due respect, I really do not know how to answer that question. You can try to say other things that came up in your reading. You can really try to really kind of finesse that moment, but there's going to be instances where you don't know the answer. There are some times where the professor will ask you a question and then they'll ask a follow-up, and then they'll ask a follow-up, and then they'll ask a follow-up. You might know the first 3 answers, but you don't know the last answer, and that's okay. Not knowing the answer to a cold call does not affect your grade. In most law schools, it's a blind grading system. The professor doesn't say, she didn't know the answer, D for her. That's not how it works. In most law school classes, your grade is dependent on one exam, and that can be really grueling. We'll get into that really briefly, but please understand that it's not the end of the world if you don't know the answer. But it is not a good look if you don't know the answer because you just didn't do your part. Always do your part and be prepared. If you don't know, you don't know. Don't beat yourself up about it, but just try to do better next time. Next, I'm going to talk about the note-taking process in classes. So in law school, people have different ways that they approach these subjects. So some people might write their notes in class. Some people might type their notes in class. Some people might just look back at the lecture or the recording and then try to transcribe their notes after that. I don't think that's a good use of your time. But I will just genuinely tell you guys that there is no hard, fast rule on the note-taking style that you should use. I really think that when you're in the process of determining what's the best approach for note-taking, you need to really pay close attention to that class. How is the subject being relayed to you? Does the professor talk too fast? If the professor talks too fast, it might be very hard for you to write notes, especially since during your first semester, it's hard for you to discern what's important information and what is not important information. So do you want to write? It's hard to write when they talk too fast. It's hard to write when it's just a very fast-paced environment. In those cases, typing is better. But if you have a professor that might have slides up and they talk a bit slower, or they're just, you know, easier to understand, then writing might be good for you. I will tell you that it's scientifically proven that writing your notes helps you retain it better. But I have done both writing and typing my notes, and I have found that I am successful in both, but it just takes a lot more work after I'm typing them. So during the outline process, I might do a written outline for a class that I type my notes in, or I might just write down like all of the, you know, really important like attack outline. So an attack outline is like, we're going to get into that because I'm going to obviously consistently tell you guys about preparing for exams or just different tips throughout the semester. So don't worry, like I'm going to do a separate exam video and preparing for exam video, and I'll also be able to give you guys those personal tips if you guys decide to go forward with the coaching as well as the group chat. So I don't want to confuse you guys with like sayings that are not prevalent right now, because it's not. You're in the first week of school, if that. But if you want to write out your attack outline, which is like a shorter sample of your real outline, where you just write all of the key important terms, I might write that out if it's a class that I typed in, just so that I can really like see and visualize the information. Or writing out note cards. That's another really helpful thing that I've done for classes that I've typed in. I just wrote out like flashcards for all of the important key terms, and that was really helpful for me. Or just key information, key rules that I knew would likely be tested. I would just write that out. Flashcards were really helpful for torts, which I think a lot of first year students take, like in the United States. I'm not sure if you guys will take it internationally, not sure. But torts was something that was really helpful for note cards. So yes, keep that in mind. If you're not able to write your notes, there's tons of alternatives to make sure that you really retain that information. I talked to you guys about doing the reading. So another way to be really successful in law school is to be intentional with your reading. So don't just be reading your text and like, okay, I got it, now I can go in class and kill it. That is not typically how it goes, because the subject matter is very much so dense. There's rules, there's holdings, so you want to be really intentional. Whether intentionality is you highlighting the rule one color in your book, you highlighting the holding one color in your book, you highlighting important key facts a different color in your book, or whether it's actually creating an outline. I was once somebody who wrote out really detailed outlines for every single case that I wrote, and I found that it wasn't a really good use of my time in the long run. It was really helpful in the beginning of my first year so that I could really just understand how to find these key things, but after a while it was taking up a lot of time. So I did often use pre-made outlines, so outlines that people had previously used or previously created, canned outlines. So there are sites that you can find like these canned outlines that are really helpful just to compare from your own notes. So what I would do instead is just write out notes from the case. I would still like maybe write out the holding and things like that, but I wouldn't just do a here is the issue, here's the rule here. Like I didn't really do it as fancy. After a while I just would write important notes, highlight in my book, and then also look at pre-made outlines just for a reference to make sure I didn't miss anything. The next thing I want to quickly talk about is study groups. People will make you feel like a study group is just essential. You cannot make it through law school without a study group, and I will tell you guys that is far from the truth. Study groups can be very useful when used correctly, or they can be a very huge waste of your time. I have had study groups and I have also done things on my own, so I can tell you guys both perspectives. I have had a study group that was so productive. We got stuff done, we did our work at home, brought it to the group, we all just contributed. It was just a great thing. And I've had study groups where we just laughed the whole time and like gossiped, and it was just like talked about celebrities. It was just like, okay, we can hang out on the weekend maybe, but we can't study together because this is not good for me. And then I've also been able to really just study by myself, and really that's been really helpful for learning the material. I will say that you cannot be in a study group until you learn the material on your own. People think that joining these groups will help you learn the information, but you can't get information from other people's brains, and at the end of the day you're taking the exam by yourself. It's not a group effort. I wish, but it's not. So you really have to make sure you know the information on your own. If a study group is the route you want to take, really do your work at the outset. Spend time outlining the material, spend time figuring out what is the subject matter in the class. You even know what the class is about. Like you can't jump into a study group and just think that they're going to teach you everything, because at that point like you're sinking the group and you're really making it hard for you guys to be productive. So I would say it's really important for you to really do self-studying and a study group if you want to take that route, or you can also just do it by yourself, and you can have another friend who you might do practice tests with or hypotheticals with and things like that, just to help you guys keep each other motivated. But please don't think that a study group is essential to be successful in law school, because sometimes it can be a huge waste of your time. Another tip that will really help you be successful in law school is to make time for yourself. People think that like law school is like a sprint, but it's genuinely a marathon, and there's no way that you can be successful in your exams in December if you're burnt out in October. The only way to prevent yourself from being burnt out is to really practice self-care, to really set boundaries for yourself, and to actually have a life. People think that law school means you can't have a life. And hard fast, no. I was a full-time YouTuber as a law student. I had friends, I had family. It's just about establishing boundaries and really creating a balance in your life. So do not neglect your self-care. If you're somebody who really needs to go to the gym, go to the gym in the morning before class so that you can feel happy in class and you can feel productive, or go to the gym after class. If you're someone who wants to spend time with your friends, get all your work done during the week so that you can spend your weekend spending time with your friends or spending time with your family. Don't think that law school is a jail sentence. That's not what it is. It's really just about you really creating a schedule and sticking to it. If you want to do something, if you want to do a part-time job, if you want to take on a blog, if you want to do other things, you can do it. It's just about what you're willing to schedule time for and make time for. So please don't fall into the trap of thinking that now you don't have a life, because that's not how it works. It's just you have to be more intentional with your time, and you have to really take care of you before anything. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't be successful academically if you are burnt out, stressed, exhausted, or just sad. So really take time to tend to yourself, do a self check-in and see how you're feeling, how you're doing. If you need a personal day, take a personal day. If you need to spend time with family, with loved ones, do what you have to do, because that's the only way that you can really be successful in school. All right, guys, so for those of you guys who have been following my journey for quite some time, you guys know that I have my own business. So I don't talk about it a lot on YouTube because it's really kind of like a separate entity, but I do have a life coaching and consulting business called Gumption Life Coaching and Consulting, and you guys can check out the website right below. The website is just gumptioncoachingconsulting.com. But this is actually a business I started in 2013, and pretty much as I have just pretty much grown and developed as a person, the different things that I've offered within this business have expanded. So in 2017, I actually started consulting some law students, and they were actually people who came from who came from YouTube, who watched my journey, who knew about my business, and who reached out for coaching and consulting. So this is honestly something that's very near and dear to my heart. It's myself and 3 other coaches, and this is just my baby. This is something that I plan to do for the rest of my life as a career. In addition to my career in the legal field, entrepreneurship is just always something that's been really big to me, especially social entrepreneurship. So I'm just really happy with this business, and I think it's time for me to really expand further and really use my experiences and use my pretty much platform to really help people on a much deeper level than just these videos. So here is an opportunity that I really want to share with those of you guys who have just entered your first year of law school, who are about to enter your first year of law school, or who are interested in going to law school. So what this is an actual group coaching session. So we will be doing a Google Hangout. I will be giving you guys 3 separate occasions that you can choose from for the Hangout. And following the Hangout, which is an hour and 30-minute session where you can ask me unlimited questions, and even if we go over the time of the hour and 30 minutes, if you have not gotten all your questions out, we will continue until you guys can ask me any question that you guys have about either the law school admissions process, how to be successful during your first year of law school, tips on studying, tips on preparing for class, tips on dealing with study groups, anything financial advice, anything that comes to mind, anything, you guys will be able to ask me during that session. And it'll also be a time for you to interact with other participants who are in the coaching session. So following that, after I do the 1 group session or the several group sessions, depending on people's availability, I want to make sure that I can accommodate everyone. I will be making a group chat with all of the people who participated. So this will be a chance for us to communicate throughout the year and beyond. So if you guys have any questions that come up during your semester, you guys need advice, anything, what have you, I will be there for you guys, and that's all included in this one-time fee. In addition to that, I will also be giving you guys limitless resources, like resources that I can't often share on this channel because it's just very detailed, things like different scholarships that I come across that are for law students, things like just different tips or different advice, just different resources in all I will be sharing with you guys throughout the year. And on top of that, just sending you guys some motivational words throughout our group chat. So it'll be a really great community that we'll be able to foster. So What it is a $15 fee, $15, and with that $15 fee, you get the 1 hour and 30-minute session, which is a really discounted rate compared to my typical rates that I do. But because you guys are students and I understand the journey of being a student and the finances or the lack of finances that come with being a student, I will be allowing you guys all to pay $15 for an hour and 30-minute coaching session, and then following that, a group chat to last us forever, where we can just all be a family and really just help each other through this tough journey. So if you guys are actually interested in participating, here's what you will do. You guys can either send me a direct message on Instagram. My Instagram name is Talking with Timaiah, or you can send me an email, and the email is listed right here on the screen. Send me an email here, and then that is how you can let me know that you're interested, and from there I'll send you further information, and I'll also send you a doodle poll where you can select what days work for you, and from there we'll do the scheduling, we'll have our coaching session, and then we will do our group chat. So I'm so excited for this opportunity for you guys. If you guys are interested, do not hesitate. There is a deadline, so I wanted to get this video out to you guys on a Sunday so that you guys would be able to really think about it, see if it's something that you wanted to do, and then decide. You guys will have until Wednesday the 22nd to participate in this opportunity. If you guys are seeing this after the fact, I am so sorry, but you still have a chance to simply enter the group chat and just be a part of the community, and that would be a $5 fee. You won't have to pay the full $15. And if you're just somebody who doesn't want to go through the actual coaching and consulting and the individual questions and interacting with other people on the video platform, you don't have to do that, but it will be a fee for $5 just to enter into the actual group chat that we will be creating. So if you're seeing this after the fact, don't feel sad. You can still send me an email. You can still send me a direct message and tell me that you want to be a part of the community, and I will be just telling you guys how you guys can go about paying, and I will send you like the information about my business, and you guys can go from there. So don't feel sad if you're seeing this and it's after that Wednesday. I'm so sorry, but Wednesday, August 22nd will be the deadline, and following that I will send you guys a doodle poll with all of the time frames that you can choose from for the hour and 30-minute session, and from there we will get the ball rolling. All right, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the love and support. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, and I will see you guys in my next video.
Before you came round, my heart would never beat much faster. Before you came round, I was ready.